security. We're going to be dealing with security. This topic is very, very important because of the challenges we face in our environment today. And when you talk about security, it has become a topical issue. I don't need to flog it too much by talking about the importance and role that security plays in our environment today. Okay, north, south, west, east, security has become an aspect of serious concern. Okay, so we're going to be examining that and looking at industrial security and security awareness, not just in terms of general security, but also industrial security, workplace security, personal security, and measures that we can take to see that we improve our system, okay, and our consciousness to security, okay. I'm currently sharing my screen. I'm currently sharing my screen, and I want to believe we can see what is on the screen. Okay, so industrial security awareness. First of all, let's start by understanding what is security. What is security? Security are measures that we put in place, and permit me to add the word proactive measures that we put in place in order to ensure and guarantee the safety of lives and property. Okay, security are proactive measures that are put in place in order to ensure the security of lives and property. The word proactive is important because if you are being reactive, you cannot achieve so much with security. Because being reactive is just a response to something that has happened. When you hear that there is a theft and you go there after the theft has taken place, you're only being reactive. But when you are proactive, you're trying to see that whatever security threat has been identified, measures are put in place in order to deal with them. Okay, so we're going to start by looking at physical security measures. I would say security is of utmost importance to everyone. And these measures are taken to prevent spying, to prevent attacks, or to prevent theft of a target. Now, if that is security, and we have those that we call security men or security personnel, what would be their responsibility? We said a security man is a person, and of course, in this case, a man or woman, is a person who guards or protects the facility and provides protection in public homes, buildings, offices, and as the case may be, against targets. All right. And so, to summarize the definition of security, I want you to always remember that security are proactive measures that we take and that we put in place in order to protect organizational assets against any form of identified threat. So security is the safety of lives and property. And you could recall that I said the goal in security is to be proactive. Okay, sorry, I my connection got lost. I don't know. This afternoon is just a bit challenging. So as I was saying, that our goal is to be reactive, is to be proactive and not to be reactive. Okay, so let's look at the first, which are what we call physical security measures. What are physical security measures? Now, a physical security measure is a situation whereby a security operative is posted to a particular place for the goal and purpose of ensuring that the security objective is achieved. And these physical security measures, of course, are physical in nature. They are things we can see. They are measures. They are systems put in place that helps us to become more proactive in our work and in our dealings. So let's look at these physical security measures that can be put in place. Now, the first physical security measure is called access control. Access control. Now, what is access? Access is when you grant somebody authorization, maybe like to pass through a place. If somebody stands in the door where you're trying to pass, you say, I need access, I need a passage. So we said when there is a man or woman of transparent character that is positioned at an entry or exit point, okay, in order to manage and see and monitor those that go in and come out of that facility. If, for instance, you are in a bank or you are in an office, you come, you see a security personnel standing at that door. Now, what that security personnel does while standing there is to monitor people, check them to see, ask them questions. Who have you come to see? What have you come to do? And observe them while they are going in and coming out. And how is that achieved? First of all, used by screen visitors. You screen visitors, ask them questions. Who have they come to see? You can use physical barriers. Then you can ensure that they are wearing ID cards. Okay, you are from XYZ. Can I see your ID card? Can you ID yourself? Okay. Another form of access control is by the use of CCTV, closed circuit television. Okay, and so in a closed circuit television, you're having somebody who is seated at the monitor or the screen and observing those that are entering and coming out of that facility. So use of CCTV is also a physical security measure that helps in access control. The next one is security patrol. Security patrol. The first one is what? Access control. Secondly is security patrol. In a security patrol is where you have security personnel that are going around carrying out a kind of checks, observation on what is happening in the environment, okay, to ensure that crime is not perpetrated. It creates a form of awareness. If one intends doing something and you see a security personnel looking around, you know that you have to be careful. All right. So that is what security control is, and we have different types of security patrol. Okay, the first type of security patrol is what we call fixed route. Fixed route. Now, what is fixed route? Fixed route has to do with definiteness. There is a path, there is a place to follow, there is a fixed route or path that has to be taken or managed by that security personnel. So if you have a security personnel that is posted maybe at the back of a facility, maybe at the back of a bank, he has to remain within that space and jurisdiction of his assignment. He cannot be strolling about and leave the front of the back of the office where he has been given control over and stroll to the side or to the front and all of that. No, he cannot do that. His route is part of security where he's supposed to manage is defined and controlled. Okay, second is semi-discretionary system. And in a semi-discretionary system, okay, let's talk about, I'm supposed to explain discretionary system. Now, in a discretionary system, you're having, it's not like fixed route that it has a defined path where the security personnel is supposed to manage. No, in a discretionary system, it is left to the responsibility of the personnel, the security personnel, to determine how he's going to carry out security measures within that particular place and facility. Okay, that is what discretionary system is. So you can have security personnel practice discretionary system within your home, within your office, because that is the only person that is supposed to take care of every part, the front, the back, the access, and every part of that facility is under his care and responsibility. If there is theft, if there's anything anywhere, you say, where is the security individual that is supposed to take care of this environment? That is what discretionary system is. Then in the Aberdeen is a security patrol system that was developed in Scotland. Scotland Yard Police. And how does Aberdeen work? It's a form of surveillance where you have security patrol vehicles, for instance, that can come to a particular location, recon that area, be around that area, watch around that area, observe around that area, and after probably an hour, they drive to another location. Okay, so this patrolling system creates fear in the minds of anyone that wants to commit crime, and also create a psychological confidence, mental confidence in those within that environment that, you know, the police is on top of any situation that is there. So don't forget, we're looking at physical security measures. The first one is, I said, access control. Secondly, I said security patrol. Thirdly is intelligence and surveillance. Now, intelligence and surveillance is when you discreetly monitor activities within a particular place, where a person or persons with specialized training are deployed to help prevent crime. Just as we explained that Aberdeen system is patrolling is a form of intelligence. Intelligence has to do with information gathering. Surveillance is used when you have gotten an inkling. Surveillance is used when you have gotten insight or information that is likely to be crime or theft or something to be done, and you want to manage that. And based on that, you now carry out surveillance based on intelligence reports that you have gotten. It helps in crime prevention, and also if crimes be perpetrated, you can prevent it from occurring. Then the last one, which is investigation, is a reactive means. In investigation, crime has already taken place. Okay, crime has already occurred, but your goal now is to get to know those who did it. Your goal is not prevention because it has already been done, but you want to know those who did it, why they did it, and prevent further reoccurrence. You want to arrest, you want to capture all those that carried out the crime. Now, in investigation, of course, when it involves instrumentation, it involves questioning, it involves interview, and all of that, all in a bid to get information out of the perpetrators. You get leads of what is happening, and you follow up in order to be able to arrest those that did that perpetrated that crime. That is what we call investigation. Okay, so from now, as we proceed now, we're going to be looking at different security measures that you can apply in your home, personally, in your office, even as we go around activities, on a daily basis. So let's look at personal security measures. First of all, it is important to know and recall that security is everybody's responsibility. Security is not one person's responsibility, it's everyone's responsibility. And your security is very important. So let's look at tips. Let's start by looking at tips that could help you in formulating your own security plan. What are those tips? What are those insight measures that can help you in creating your own security plan? First of all, understand the security threats that are in the work environment. What are the security threats? You have to understand those security threats in the work environment and ask questions where in doubt. Okay, if you're in doubt, where you're not sure what is happening, ask questions where in doubt. Okay, then develop a sense of security awareness. Hmm? Develop a sense of security awareness and never take security for granted. Develop a sense of security and awareness and never take security for granted. Avoid routine patterns. Avoid what is a routine pattern where somebody can easily predict your movement, your time, where you will be, and all of that. No, no, no. That is not. It's not. Apart from your close family members, your part and the way you do things should not easily be predicted. So avoid routine patterns as much as possible. Then protect personal information. Okay, some people just go around talking, bragging, making boasts. No, avoid things that can make you a target. Okay. Mm. Protect personal information. Sometimes that's why we password phones. That's why we password laptops. It's not as if there are some special things we are hiding, but of course, there could be special things to hide, of course, from one who can commit any crime. Okay, then adopt realistic security measures. Adopt realistic. What do you mean by realistic? What can I do? What practical steps can I take? We just looked at physical security measures. Locking your house, saying that you do not make yourself exposed anyhow. Okay, noting where you go, avoiding night movement, and where you have to go out at night, you have to be conscious. There are some certain environment that going out at night, people can attack you. Okay, that's it. So in that environment, make sure you're home on time. Okay, so those kind of realistic security measures that you can put in place. Have numbers of security personnel that you can call when there's emergency. Have a plan B, contingency security measure. I remember many years ago, my dad usually kept some kind of weapons like cutlass, big stick in his room, in his house, because we could not buy a gun. It's against the law to own a gun. So he had those as his own security measures for protection. Okay. So avoid self-targeting. How do you avoid self-targeting? Do not make yourself a target by how you talk, by what you say. You go to environments and brag and talk about yourself. You're working in XYZ, you make XYZ amount of money. Simplicity is a form of security in itself. Okay, and of course it has to do their environments you go, that you know that this environment can be a dangerous area. Okay, you're going to the bank, or to go and do monetary transaction, and you're not doing it with a lot of discretion. You're being careless. Okay. Okay. I want to believe you can hear me because my network is just going off and coming back. Mr. Yomi, can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, my network is just fluctuating. Okay, so we're talking about personal security tips that should be in uh, in general security tips that should be employed. Okay, so we're also going to look at other security tips. Okay, where did we stop? Okay, personal security tips. Okay, this is where we stopped. We are now going to look at security tips in the office. We just looked at personal security tips, and now we're going to look at security tips in the office. In the office environment, we said all doors leading to the office must be properly locked and keys handed down to designated places. Okay, because this office is a sensitive environment, and if you are not the one that is in charge of the security locks and keys, it should not be with you. So when leaving the office, hand over keys and all of that to the designated places. All appliances must be switched off before leaving the house, okay, or before leaving the office. I beg your pardon. Like your lights, your fans, your air conditions, they should be switched off from within, but outside the security lights should be on. Okay. When you have computer networks, it should only be access should only be given to those that it is meant to be. Access should be given only to those that security, and so I mean your computer networks should be given to. Okay, your computer networks can be passworded and only allowed to be used by those to which it is authorized to be used. And so, and other sensitive company information should also not be on the website, okay, because people can hack into it, people can attempt to retrieve sensitive information from company website and can be used against the company. Okay, then unwanted documents should be shredded. Shredded means it should be destroyed, it should be torn apart into pieces where it is not necessary. You go to a public space to do certain activities, documentation and all of that, destroy those documents after you are done. Okay, and also company discussion should not be done all everywhere. No, no, no. Company discussion should be limited to certain areas. Okay, so restrict company discussion to certain areas only. Faulty doors and windows should be reported promptly and followed up. You have a window or door that is having a fault that is being managed, it should be reported to management so that it can be fixed immediately and promptly. Then avoid, when you have visitors, don't leave them alone in an office, especially where you're dealing with monetary transaction. No, 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 no. That is too sensitive. Okay, so do not leave visitors alone in the office where you have monetary transactions to deal with. Now, when you have manual workers, who are the manual workers? You have cleaners, unskilled workers, laborers, uh, possibly security, and all these people that, do not leave them alone, do not underestimate them, do not assume that they do not know much and cannot be done by much. In fact, they can be used as baits many times to see how crimes can be perpetrated. Then your neighbor is your first security. So make sure that you have a good relationship with your neighbors and those around. Then ensure that you can switch on security lights from within the house. Okay, and when people come from different environments, posing themselves to be from maybe light PHCN or from one place to the other, be sure of who they are before you open your house, or in fact, not even open your house or gate. You go outside to meet them because you do not know who they are. Okay, then if you have around your house objects, trees, ladders, things that can help intruders gain access into your home and environment, such things should be removed, okay, from the fence, for instance, that can help people gain access into your home or facility. So these tips can always help you in dealing with security in within the home. Then the last topic we're going to look at is security measures outside the home. That's the last subtopic, security measures outside the home. Now, we said do not count money openly. For security measures at home, in the public space, do not count money openly, because people can use that as a means to train you. People can use that as a means to trace you. So do not count money openly. Do not patronize strangers, strange men, strange women, people that you do not know. No, 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 no. Avoid such persons. Okay? So do not patronize strange men and women. They could be agents of robbers or ritual killers. When traveling, ensure that your valuables are close by. As a matter of fact, observe valuables, observe your belongings, observe your your luggages, okay? Because travel environment, you notice abnormalities, you notice wrong signs, note those things because these are very important security systems. Okay. Then when you're entering vehicles, observe the people, observe people in the vehicle. If you're maybe a public transport, look at those that are inside, observe them. There's usually this case of one chance. What is one chance? You just hear when people want to enter a vehicle, and as you enter the vehicle, once the vehicle leaves, after some time, they change direction. People are a black hood is put over their face. They change direction, and one is kidnapped. Okay, so the kidnapping gang uses um, the one chance method or system in in carrying out their wicked and evil acts. Okay, then do not patronize strangers, strange men, strange women. Avoid those kind of people or those kind of persons, especially public spaces and people that you do not know. Okay, avoid going alone, especially at night, and especially if you are a woman, avoid going alone at night. Okay, in fact, in our environment where we are, nighttime is a no-no because of what it has become. So don't be habit of listening for people you don't know. Avoid going alone, especially at night, if possible. Then vary your timing and route home. If you have different routes that you can take to go home, you can take different routes. It mustn't be that you always take the same road and the same route home. You can use different routes to go home. Okay. So these tips will help us in formulating different security plans, both at in the office, um, at home, in the office, in public spaces, and otherwise that we find ourselves. Security is nothing that should be taken for granted, and you have to make security a priority. You have to make security um, a personal responsibility. In as much as we have bodies that are responsible for security, do not leave the responsibility of security to just a body or security personnel. Take it as a personal responsibility and take it very, very seriously. And so with this, we come to the end of HSC for level 1 and 2. Thank you so much for being part of today's class, and please prepare very well for your exams. All right, please prepare very well for your exams. Thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you for being part of today's class. Thank you. Do have a nice weekend.